the Barvember bar modelling challenge from Thursday 8th of November, courtesy of White Rose Maths. Alright, Jacob has the same number of apples, bananas and pears. He gives 120 apples away. He uses some of the bananas and pears to make a fruit crumble. There are 220 pieces of fruit left. There are twice as many bananas as pears left. The number of apples was 35 fewer than bananas in the end. And the question we're asked is, how many of each fruit did Jacob have at the end? And from my difficulty even reading this question out, we can see that it's quite a complicated problem. So right, let's figure out how to tackle this. Again, I haven't really prepared. I wanted to see what I would come up with when approaching this cold. Right, where I would like to start, I think, is that Jacob has the same number of apples, bananas and pears. So we have apples, bananas, pears, and it's the same number. Okay, so apples, bananas, pears, all the same number. All right. And he gives 120 apples away. I don't know what that's going to be. I'm just going to sort of shade off that I'm getting rid of some apples. That's 120. Okay. He uses some of the bananas and pears to make a fruit salad, okay, or fruit crumble, giving us 220 pieces of fruit left. And we're told that at the end there are twice as many bananas as pears left. So whatever amount of bananas I use, let's say, I don't know, let's say I use that many bananas, I'm going to have, there's twice as many bananas as pears left. So if I do that and that, okay, so that's how many pears are going to be left. That's how many pears we used up, that's how many bananas we used up, and that's how many apples have been given away. Okay, we'll do that. I don't know what that is in relation to this yet. Okay. So when all of that's given away, so all of these white bits, non-shaded bits, okay, all of those together are 220. Okay, well, that's what I think. So it's a complicated problem. There's a lot going on. So at the beginning they have equal amounts. 120 apples are given away. Some bananas and pears, we don't know how much, are used in a fruit crumble, so much so that we end up with twice as many bananas as pears. Okay, I'm happy with that now. And then we have this bit. The number of apples was 35 fewer than bananas in the end. And oh, well, that's lucky I've drawn it. I could have adjusted it if not. But yeah, I have fewer apples than bananas in the end. And actually, if I do this, let me get a different colour pen. This is 35. Actually, that's not going to work. All right, there we go. This is 35, that bit there. Okay. Okay. Right. So let me think. Okay, if I'm always looking for where I can get sort of equal size parts here. So if I look 220, if I added on that 35, I would then have all of this bit. So yeah, if I added all of that, okay, so I'm going to add 35 will give me 255. So 255 is all of this part, including this 35, which I can then use to find out what each of these parts is. So we know that bananas was twice pears, so these are all equal size parts. I don't know why it's not working now. I've upset it. There we go. Okay, and this equal part is including that bit there. Okay, so 255, I need to divide that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 255 divided by 5 gives me 51. So each of these is 51. And this is 50, let's say 51, including this 35. So 51 subtract 35, that's going to give me 16. Okay, so that bit there is 16, that bit there is 35. Now I know that these aren't the same size, you know, this ought to be much bigger than this bit, but that doesn't matter. It's just my aid to visualizing what's happening. Okay, and I've completely now lost track of what I'm after. Right, let's go. How many of each fruit did Jacob have at the end? Okay, so at the end he had well, let's have a look. So we have apples, bananas and pears. Okay, so of pears, that's nice and easy, there's 51. Okay, all good. For bananas, also easy because it's 51 times 2, so that's 102. Okay, and then I suppose I could just subtract those from the 220 to get this answer, but let's have a look. It's actually going to be at the end, what did I have? I had 51 plus my 16 there. All right, so okay, so we've got 67. All right, and then what should we do to check this? We can check it, so we can do okay, let's add them. So 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so 1, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And 220. Okay, so that all adds up to 220, so I'm happy that that's right. Okay, so how many of each fruit did Jacob have at the end? 67 apples, 102 bananas and 51 pears.